Sure, we talked about doing an Alan Partridge film years ago, but things just didn't seem right. Was that not very naturalistic?
Female.
You are the face of this siege.
I am Siege Face.
Partridge, Partridge, Partridge! I'll be honest, it wasn't my favourite title, but I was outvoted, and you know, I'm fairly democratic.
Well, it's you, Alan Partridge, in a siege at a radio station. So action, fun, tension, danger.
Heavy kissing and guns. Yeah.
I actually wanted to call it either Hectic Danger Day, which I really like because it's clumsy, but it sort of sounds like an attempt at a Hollywood name that doesn't quite work, or Colossal Velocity.
Colossal Velocity.
Colossal Velocity. Well, what was the one you liked? Welcome to Hectic Danger Day.
I think the Partridge movie probably has been talked about for decades.
I remember people wondering about when and if a Partridge film would come out when I was at school, maybe.
I just know that for years there's been an IMDb listing for the Alan Partridge movie, and in development, you know, it's in development hell for years and years and years.
Armando, Pete and Steve have such busy lives, professional lives, that I wondered if they'd ever get together to do it.
I love them both dearly, but with Armando and Pete Bainham, early on when the idea was mooted, it was like pulling teeth, frankly, to get them enthusiastic about it. But eventually, I sort of beat them into submission, and they said, all right, stop going on about it, we'll do it.
You know, we don't do Alan that often. He has been around for 20 years, but actually there aren't that many episodes of Alan Partridge. After a while, there's a whole generation who have grown up not really knowing who Alan is. So we then thought, well, we can only do a film when we feel there's an audience.
And when we did Mid-Morning Matters, we re-established the character in a very small, low-key way. Neil and Rob Gibbons came along, and they really were a revelation.
We could see very instantly that they got it. They understood Alan.
Alan's become, in the hands of Rob Gibbons and Neil Gibbons, much more, to my mind, three-dimensional, rounded character. So I think he's grown naturally towards a character that is rounded enough to deserve a movie.
Films are about stories and sitcoms are about characters. Until that story was found, there's just kind of no point of having Alan mucking around and doing a 1.5 hour episode of a sitcom. It's got to feel like a film.
It's a very difficult thing we've tried to do, which is to keep Alan myopic, that is to say in his own little world, so we've made it regional, but have something cinematic happen.
You didn't want it to become not what people love about Alan Partridge, which is a lot of pedantry and a lot of talk about the Norwich Ring Road and the sort of things that Alan cares about.
Once the idea had been landed on that it was going to be a hostage film, it did feel like it would have legs. I mean, Alan being under pressure is always quite funny.
Like a Nazi officer, this, isn't it? Should snap my heels together. Achtung!
Guten Tag.
Silence! Sorry, that's a miss you. Okay, I want you to do something for me.
Normally when you are attached to a film or you come on board a film, there's a thing called a script, which is usually between 90 and 120 pages, and that's kind of what you then are commissioned or contracted to deliver on film for the people who are paying you to do it. And this did have one of those things, but I hadn't realised was that really was just a kind of a guide.
I'm going to just say a couple of things. Although we're very happy with it, it won't be a finely polished diamond, and this is part of the process. This reading now, the comments we get from this will be folded back in on what we eventually shoot.
Any Alan thing that we make, there's a very convoluted process, and we've never mastered it. Every time we do it, when we get to the end, we always say, "Oh, we're never going to do it again like that. That was horrible."
Very little of what we originally started out with has made it to the screen. The story is the same, but page by page, the dialogue, the action, some of the characters, so much of that has changed.
If we'd stuck to the way you're supposed to make a film, it might have been easier on people, but it wouldn't have been very funny. And we had to have maximum flexibility to change things whenever we wanted to, and that was the most important thing.
I don't think that it works as well if you start the film, it's going wrong. And then it's a jingle that cuts that off. It's better if you correct your mistake.
Sorry about that. I'm Alan Partridge. Then hit the sting. I think, yeah.
Should we crack on with our scene 1 stuff then?
Take one.
To reconcile respect with practicality, what would be the optimum speed for a hearse? What you got, Simon?
I have gone for 8 miles an hour.
I've got the speed of a horse at canter. Can we start again? Feels a bit lacking in energy.
Within days, I think he found himself not quite happy enough with the things he was getting.
It's not quite working. It's just not quite
That
working.
felt very good.
I don't know. That felt very good. Really? It just wasn't singing when it's not on form. It's like, yeah, sort of funny-ish jokes, but it's not. This is not good enough. And then outside with Lynn, it was just like, it wasn't proper, full-on, all of the tiny little beats that make Partridge extra good.
That was a disaster, Lynn. Just want to curl up in a ball and roll home.
My problem is the funniness of that evening. The lines weren't there.
Building on fire or is lunch over?
What did you do?
Rents out bouncy castles.
For adults.
Yeah.
After about 3 days of shooting, we started to get stuff that I felt was funny, properly funny, and had that Alan magic, if you like.
Action.
It's like Bobby Brushes when the swimming pool allegations came out.
It was a bit.
Yeah, and people eventually realised he was just helping those lads town off. He was being nice.
Where is he now?
He runs his own business.
See, he's back on his feet.
Rents out bouncy castles.
For adults, yeah?
I can't.
Thank you.
When we got a few days of that, I thought, okay, I can do this. We can get through this. It'll be very hard, but it's doable, and that changes your mindset.
Stars are here. We're being taken over.
Serendipity would be how I describe Colin Meaney coming to the role.
When I was called and asked to do this, I had no idea who Alan Partridge was.
It was such a breath of fresh air. When I spoke to him on the phone before, I said, look, this is the way we work.
Steve kind of talked to me about the type of film he was trying to make.
He said he'd worked with Judd Apatow and told me that he'd done certain amounts of improvisation. And he also said, which was manna from heaven, he said, I don't suppose there's much point asking to see the script. And I thought, thank you, because if you do, it'll put you off.
It was very appealing. It's a story that has to be believable.
So he came on board with an open mind and was pretty rigorous. He sort of called us on a number of occasions to do making sure his character had integrity and wasn't just this wall to bounce Alan's jokes off.
We don't know. There hasn't been a moment where like the phone rings. It's the police. What, the fucking police? Oh, I'm flipping because of the police.
It's a very hard thing to do, that role, because you have to be both vulnerable, in some ways pathetic, and also a threat. He really pulled that off, and that gives the film a certain heart, because you can see why Alan's relationship with him is complex.
So what you think, Alan?
I wouldn't quite, use those words, but I think that's sort of the gist of what,
I just don't like bullies.
And cut.
Get there, thank you.
Right. Do a tighter one on top there. Yeah.
Lynn Benfield?
I am she.
The relationship between Lynn and Alan is the heart of the Partridge world, I think.
We must never voice it explicitly, but there is an affection and loyalty that they each have for each other, a need that they have for each other.
Felicity is really part of Alan's world now and does a fantastic job. She has this energy, her own energy. One of the few people who can be on screen by herself and you'll still be engaged.
I suppose I assumed, like you do sometimes when you play a role, you won't be playing it again. And I did find Lynn, one of those characters, very hard to shrug off.
Trying to work out the years. And then I had an argument with Simon about it, who plays Michael. But I think Simon says it's 10 years.
2002. It's 11 years since she's done that. She slipped back into it like an old cardigan.
Steve and Felicity, their relationship is really very similar to Alan and Lynn's relationship. It's really not that far off.
Someone just say seagull. Something like that.
Can we actually go back?
No, I know Steve because I got lost.
All right, okay.
No idea.
What Steve really was keen to impress on us about the Alan and Lynn relationship is that he isn't just a bully to her. It's not one-way traffic like that.
I mean, who the heck do you think you are?
I'm Lynn Benfield.
She can live with the low salary and the crap car if she's part of the action. Yeah, she's right in there. She's right in there, girl.
Oh, wow. Lynn, you look fantastic.
Good gracious.
We knew we had to have her in it, and we wanted Michael in it as well. Michael the Geordie, who doesn't have a surname.
Michael?
Hi, I'm Partridge.
Returning to it after 10 years, it's nice to have a regular job, isn't it?
It was so lovely to see Simon Greenall on set, because I actually love his character anyway, and I'm really fond of Simon.
That's the end of the transformation, and I become Michael.
You just go, okay, I'm back to being Michael again, and you just are him. And it's easy, like, just be there. Well, the other thing about Michael is that you've always got a bit of time, like, because you can mumble and stutter and that, which gives you a bit of thing at time, like.
You know that you can write for them and they'll just deliver.
I'm really sorry, I done a shit in the box.
All three of them are slightly broken as individuals, and they've kind of gravitated towards each other.
You feel there's a sort of dysfunctional family aspect to it.
Everything okay, Alan?
Our friend Michael's just sent a text saying he hasn't bought toilet paper in 18 months.
But at the same time, their character has got to have a role in the film rather than just being. You don't want it to be like Cheers, where Michael comes on and everyone stops and claps for a bit and then it carries on again. It's got to feel like it's part of the story.
Alan, your ego's getting the better of you.
I've just got to stay alert and focused. I'm playing them like an oboe, Lynn. How effed up is that?
Thank you, hold it there.
I'm Gordon Seed, I'm the Alan Partridge stunt double. I'm doubling Steve, falling out of the window. He's got his trousers caught, and I have to fall out of my trousers and get my bum out for everybody.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Great.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Right, we'll get guards into the set. Okay, free take, lock it up, and roll sound.
Sound speed. It's literally and metaphorically Hitchcock.
What are you doing? It's weird.
There are paparazzi all over the place, and I do not want them taking a photograph of my genitalia.
Well, Martin's my oldest friend, and he's just doing the photographer. Well, Martin will see my cock and balls.
In a sock.
Might not be in a sock. Yeah, it might not be in a sock, mate. Sorry. I don't want you to have nightmares or wet dreams.
Best of all is just literally a sock, because then you can get more, you can see more, but you're covered completely.
Just get a big sock.
That's it. Look at me.
Okay, cut.
Whenever we've done Partridge, the script has never looked like a shining jewel before we've done it. And I think if it had, we might be tempted to adhere to it too faithfully. And paradoxically, it would end up being inferior to having something which is incomplete and misshapen.
The way that the Partridge process works, it's just massively stressful just by its very nature.
It develops endlessly. It develops right from 4 years ago to 2 years ago to a year ago to last week to an hour before they shoot it.
Well, the night before the shoot, you'll go over the next day's stuff and very often rip it up, come up with new stuff. Sometimes you'll leave it pretty much as is, but there'll be a lot of changes the night before, generally. More changes on the day. Scripts then given to the actors who look at it aghast because they've learnt the old script from 24 hours before.
I didn't know that I had anything to say in the scene last night. And then I got the scene this morning and I had some lines. And then they've changed a few times since I got...
They'll change again.
Each day the script comes into this room or wherever we're filming, and then it starts to get reworked again.
Since I was in makeup at about 10:30, it's these are my notes, and yeah, it keeps it very fresh by not knowing what's next.
Sometimes things that are very well scripted, when you start, acting them out, feel wrong and feel overwritten.
The sort of shaking it up makes it feel authentic, and the planning that's gone on beforehand and the sort of crafting of it helps to make it funny, and I think that's a good sort of combination.
Oh, yeah. You'd know a thing or two about that, wouldn't you?
That would be... Yeah, he said, that's a moustache.
It's very rare that you just go through the scene. Did you use any ropes?
Well, that would... that's a moustache. Yeah, well, that would be...
Oh, yeah, you'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I showed her the ropes.
Did you use any ropes?
Well, that would be... that's a moustache. That's a moustache.
Oh, well, seriously, did you?
That's a moustache.
I sense with Steve that there is a relentless pursuit for what he sees as comic perfection.
Almost everyone in the room might laugh at something, and everyone would think, yes, that's fine, we can put that in, that's funny enough. He'll think, no, there's something funnier, and he'll dig deeper.
Go into the building?
Mm-hmm.
Or speak to Pat in person?
Yes, is that not what you...
Oh, that's fine. I'll just do the swallow one more time. Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
The whole thing is based on Steve unlocking Alan throughout the different situations he's put in.
But that's what Steve does. He's ferocious. He just wants to get it right.
Really, the huge advantage we've had is the way we've set this up, so that we've imagined the whole scenario of the film unfolding around, the geography of this building. We've limited our potential to get too screwed up by the fact that things change every day.
Basically, this whole structure was built inside here, and it's meant to look like a radio studio. The microphones help, obviously. And if you had an antenna, you could actually broadcast from here, because the desk works. There's a sort of computer system in there. You can choose your jingles. There's a playlist. It's soundproofed. Yeah, and it's a nice shade of blue, too.
Oh, my God! That's like some sort of zoo from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, no, it was actually very helpful filming in that small room over there, because after a while it did get oppressive with all the crew in there and everyone. You did feel like you were in a real hostage situation.
Let's do one more. That little smile is great. At the end, something like that, yeah.
Irish prick?
Whatever, yeah.
Well, it's not here to be rude.
No, I was talking to you.
Hey! Oh, he is here all week.
I'm here all week. Try the liver.
Oh!
Right, here we go.
It really doesn't get any better than that.
Go, go, go!
Martin's going to give the second cue of James for our stunt dude. James is going to run in.
Bang! Bang, that's going to go, and this guy's going to end up in the room shouting it to get down, so you get fucked down on the floor.
Stand by. Action.
James.
Oh, my tits!
Didn't work.
Ouch.
It's tough and sort of reinforced glass, so I end up bouncing back off of it.
James, do you want to sit down more?
No, we'll go for it.
Okay, right, let's do it.
Stay down! Don't move! Don't move! Have you got any scissors?
Yeah, we had a day I had to go have my head gaffer taped. So it's sort of a career. Had about an hour of that with various people having an opinion. Initially, I think I had my whole face gaffer taped.
You hiding too much of him?
That's really good, but I would like to see more of Sammy's face. He's got a funny face. I'm going to be cutting to his expression, and that is going to be it's going to save our life in the edit. That mug.
It's quite useful to have my face there, so I can go, oh, that's not good. Now it's just a kind of a swimming cap with a turret and a chin strap. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I wear when I go to work.
Guys! Studio empty! Where's Farrell? Where's Partridge?
The Jewel of South London.
Welcome to Croydon.
But you could be anywhere. This feels a bit like you're downtown LA, doesn't it? Setting up for a shot where the Radio Norwich bus is coming up from the car park underneath the radio station.
A bit like Thunderbird 1, and I'm Scott Tracy driving it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
I'll be right, man. What, nearly missed it?
Alan! Hi! Alan!
So this morning we're shooting the scene where Alan's hiding in the loo in the van, in the bus, right? And there's no place for him to hide. And we think he's climbed out the side window, but he's actually lifted the loo up and gone into the septic tank underneath the bus, right? So this whole rig here this morning is to replicate that, but off the bus, because we couldn't shoot it for real on the bus.
I think any day when you can put Steve Coogan in a toilet.
It's a good day. It's a good day for the film industry.
A good day's work there.
Steve was lying in the loo earlier on, and you just saw his face through the toilet like that. And it looked so perfect, it almost looked like it's the sort of thing had been done in post-production rather than shot for real. And as I was saying that to him, he said, "Oh, how about if I do this?"
Shake my hand, friends.
And it's just the funniest thing. And very, very weird, a really weird, sort of very surreal image.
Please, God.
Good. Okay, and cut. So what we're doing at the moment is trying to engineer exactly how that tank falls off the bus.
We need to sell the fact that it's got momentum. It can't go plop and suddenly be sliding.
Yeah. Okay, for rehearsal.
Too quick for the speed of the bus, isn't it?
No, well, why is it going backwards?
Because that's the way it would, if you dropped off, that's the way.
Happening too late.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would it go backwards? It would carry on at the speed of the bus for a bit. It wouldn't go backwards.
Well, then it's just...
It makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay, we showed you this days ago.
What should happen is the bus should leave it, really.
Yeah, but it got stuck out of the bus, didn't come out quickly enough and soon enough. It should happen much sooner, and it just rolls over that way from the weight of your body in it, no?
Matty.
I'm sorry, why would it go back? It just...
actually stop.
It might...
It was a lousy test, so let's do it again. We'll set it up the way we think we want to do it and then show it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Dear God, let them be fair.
It's a disused tactic tank. You can have it.
We decided to set it in Norwich because, for the same reasons we chose Norwich in the first place, we looked at a map and thought, well, that's an interesting place.
And Steve was always very clear that the Alan Partridge movie had to be set in Norfolk. And so we're very pleased to be going back to Norwich and obviously to Sheringham and Cromer.
And also seaside towns, out of season, have this maudlin quality that is melancholic, and there's a pallor of sadness, especially when it's overcast. They're very different places than they are in the height of summer. And we wanted to capitalise on that. Their glory days are behind them. So they're a sort of a world that's almost forgotten now. And that suited Alan's character, and it suited Colum's character, and that's why we sort of went there.
End of the pier. End of the line. It's appropriate, isn't it? And they did it in Falling Down. So I thought, well, they did it in that and it worked, so we'll do it as well.
Big today. This couldn't really be bigger. You hear about hundreds of millions of pounds spent on Hollywood blockbusters. That's there. We're here in the Partridge movie because we have shut down, and I mean locked down, the whole of Cromer Pier, which on a cold February morning would normally be flooded with pensioners in their droves, just steaming down. Get a cup of tea at the end there. We've shut them out. We've locked them out, and we're making movie history.
At last, we're getting a chance to put some scale into the film, and just stuff that's a bit more cinematic than running around in the studio.
This is the bit where Michael causes a diversion, or thinks he's caused a diversion, by jumping off the pier.
Over here! Pat, look!
Oh shit!
And they're a little bit worried about me doing it myself. There is a stuntman, but I've said that I will do it myself. So we'll see.
We're not going to be doing the stunt. He's going to be climbing over the railings, and then we're going to cut, and then I'm going to have Dean, the stunt double, do the actual jump itself.
I think Sam fancies it.
I know he does fancy it, yeah.
You're not going to let him do it?
No.
I am doing it.
Stunt coordinator. Where is it? I am doing it. We haven't sorted out the me jumping off the pier bit yet. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
And action.
Fucking hell. That's great. Well, that was perfect. Perfect. Well done. Yeah, cheers. Excellent.
Can I just say, for the record, you've probably seen the stunt that's just happened. I couldn't have done it.
You're a fucking clown, Alan.
Oh, hi, Pat.
We wanted to sort of scuzz up the standard two-man showdown by having interjections from two groups of people, one the police and two some old people who are on the pier as well. So it's a bit of a kind of pinball conversation that's kind of messing Alan's big climactic conversation up.
How long is it going to go on for?
Shut up!
He's telling you to shut up.
Just calm down. Didn't even get that. It's too close to your mouth. Just calm down. It's too close to your mouth.
Off-camera lines from me via a louthailer. It's an easy job because I can actually look at the script while I'm working, which is sort of the way I like to work anyway, but generally on camera you can't really get away with it.
It's good to see you head to toe.
I can go down on the floor, like, I'd say 3 times before I get annoyed.
Yeah, okay. Climactic scene of the film, really. Alan has he's been shot twice.
Ow! You fucking idiot! Ow! You fucking idiot!
Oh, that looks like you're looking the right direction.
I think so, yeah. This pier scene was originally written without Lynn involved in it. To have a scene where he might be dying and not feature Lynn seemed like we were missing a bit of a trick. We had to rewrite and fiddled around with it, and now she appears unexpectedly.
Stay with me, Alan, stay with me.
And they have a bit of a moving deathbed scene.
It's weird, Lynn. Yours will be the last face I ever see. Oh, good.
She's been completely roped into this out of nowhere. I said to Steve, I'm categorically not going to play the paramedic, to which he answered, yes you are.
Hi there, you're going to be okay?
I've been trusting the heart.
Your heart's there, that's your shoulder.
We're in what's now rather grandly entitled Millennium Plain. This is all pedestrianised, as you can see behind me. We're going to drive our roadshow bus and our convoy of police cars and ambulances through this pedestrian precinct, past City Hall, and then up the other side.
And that's where all the police cars start to catch up with them, and they form this long convoy. And I'd be curious to see what people make of that.
There's no one. Some guy was saying yesterday at Chroma, told them that we were filming the Partridge film, and he was like, well, why? I mean, it's not been on TV for over 10 years. Who's going to want to see that? We laughed at the time, but fast forward 24 hours and we're shooting in Norwich and fucking no one's turned up.
Actually, we don't want too many public for this bit because this is still early in the chase. They've only just got away from the radio station, so a quietish city centre would be good for us.
I'm here to see Alan Partridge because he's like a local legend in Norfolk.
There's no way, like on a day off, I could sit there knowing that Alan Partridge is here, not being there. He's just beautiful.
I want him to be my dad.
It's surreal because my brain's telling me it's a fictional character. I don't understand what's happening.
They're avid fans, so there are no lines from the show that you've completely forgotten.
People friendly, said hello. They're supportive. They sort of adopted Alan in some ways as sort of a real character who comes from here.
We're in Sheringham, and I'd organised about 50 or 60 people to be here, and we've turned up, and there's 500-600.
Give me another series, you shit!
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Shannon's been very kind. It is a wrap. Thank you. Well done, everyone.
I've got it all. I feel like I've won a war. I'm pleased we've got it all. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was fraught, and I pressured other people. I had to pass on the pressure to other people, make life hard for them. But we've got amazing stuff. We've got amazing, very, very funny stuff.
We're on day
31 of 30.
Day 31 of 30, yeah.
Oh God. I just can't believe we got here.
We've just run over a teeny bit to get this fantastic shot today.
That's the end of Alan's story. He's very happy. He's got a girlfriend of sorts, and he's towing a speedboat. That's what he wanted. What we do is shoot things with loads and loads of choices. I mean, you put it all together, you go, let's do that, let's try that, let's have that.
The film is about 3 beginnings. I think it's got 3 or 4 endings. But it's all, it's all material to play with, isn't it?
Good. You don't know what works until you're in there. It's fucking freezing.
And action.
Read my lips. Have you jeopardized the safety of any of my men or any of those hostages inside that building? Because you've not been listening to me. I will take off this police uniform and I will make you pay for it.
You want me to buy your police uniform off you?
Thank you. Get there. But that is a picture up thank you on Sean, on Simon Delaney. Picture up on Mr. Steve Coogan.
Hello. I just want thank you for all congregating here. I know it's getting late and everything, but just wanted to say this is here we are 6 weeks later, and 6 weeks ago I thought I was on the Titanic. Now I feel like I'm on the Queen Mary, the new refurbished one. I really appreciate everyone working so hard, because it has been very hard, and basically this film wasn't ready when we started, and just through hard work on everyone's behalf, going beyond the call of duty and getting things at the last minute, and people really pulling out all the stops to make it a good film. I really appreciate that, and I think it will pay off in spades. What you see on the screen is going to be a very funny, appreciated film. So thank you very much indeed. I appreciate everything everybody's done. And have some champagne. It has to be enjoyable to do. If it's not, then it's not worth it. And I still enjoy doing it. I love when I'm in the zone doing him. I enjoy it. It's sublime. It's a very enjoyable experience. It's like it feels like flying. When I know I'm on it and I'm doing it well, sometimes I felt, there was a couple of scenes we reshot when we did the film where I felt fraudulent. I thought I'm not really I'm going through the motions of, I felt like I was doing an impersonation of Alan. But when we got into the film, we did certain scenes where they really sing and fly. It's really enjoyable. It's like that's almost the easiest part of it is the material's strong, the delivery of it, and bringing it to life as the character. That's delicious. It's like really enjoyable feeling. Yeah, it's very, very visceral experience to do that. It's fun. It makes me laugh.
Aha!